So I completely ran out of time today and I have to be in Longview at 3, and so I have 10 minutes to make this recording. So it won't be pretty, but I just wanted to put something on Canvas. So I'll quickly go over these 3 items. I'll start with the bottom one. So apostrophes used in contractions. So those are the most, basic. Not very many people have problems with them. So that's like so these are common contractions. It just means that they had full versions and then the vowels were taken out. Typically the apostrophe will replace the vowel. So as we can see, this O disappeared. Cannot is a little different because its expanded form is one word as well, but most contractions will expand to 2 words. The exception is the difference between its and its, and many people confuse these. So its is a contraction. It's a contraction of it is. So one quick way to check is just read the sentence as it is, and if it makes sense, you know that there should be an apostrophe. So like in the, well, I guess I shouldn't say, in the quiz, there's something, there's a sentence like similar to, like it's difficult to know something. So if we say it is difficult to know, that makes sense. You can definitely say it is difficult to know something. So that's how you know that you should use an apostrophe. If it makes sense to say it is, use an apostrophe. And then we have its, which is a possessive. Oops. Possessive. So that is something is belonging to it, whatever it is. So most examples of it has to do with the dog. The dog chews on its bone. The bone belongs to the dog. The dog has a chew toy and is chewing on it, and so it chews on its bone. So that its shows possession. Now normally to show possession, as we'll see with apostrophes used in singular possessives, you would have an apostrophe. But its is special because we already use an apostrophe for the contraction. So as not to be confusing, we make it confusing. So its with no apostrophe is possessive. So if you come across its with no apostrophe, ask yourself what belongs to the it. What is it possessing? So the toy rolled on its side. Its, what is belonging to it? Well, side. An object has a side, a front, a back. So the side is belonging to it, and it is the pronoun referring to toy. So the toy has a side and it rolled onto it. So no apostrophe. Okay, so let's talk about singular possessives. Well, let's not use that one just yet. So we have a noun, a robe, and it has some seams and they're ripping. So to say that, we're going to use an apostrophe. So the robe seams are ripping. The seams belong to the robe. So that's how we show possession. So any word with an apostrophe S, except for its, has to be in possession of something. One thing that some teachers say, and this is more like elementary school, but think about it as the noun here, it's royalty. So I'm going to make it purple. So, purple is the color of royalty. And because it possesses so much, it's so rich, it has kingdoms and vast amounts of goods, it has a servant. That S stands for servant. So that helps you remember if you have a servant, you have to have a master that owns something. So try to find what it's owning. Okay, so that's simple enough. Just add an apostrophe s to make things plural. Sorry, possessive, my goodness. The tree's roots are being watered, for example. Or the dog's leash is over there. Pretty simple. Now, what happens when those words become plural? It becomes a little more difficult. So here we have the flower's stems are turning brown. Because the apostrophe is coming after that S, it makes the entire word possessive. So something is belonging to the flowers, plural, more than one flower. So like we're thinking about like a bunch of flowers in a vase and all of their stems are turning brown. So the stems belong to all of the flowers, not just one flower. Because if we had that, it would make more sense to talk about only one stem if we're talking about only one flower. Here we're talking about one flower. Of course, we have to make the verb agree. So one flower, one stem, and it's turning brown. Multiple flowers that have multiple stems, one stem each, presumably, and they're all turning brown. So this one is plural possessive, this one is singular possessive. So you might ask yourself, well, why not do that to make it consistent? And as a general rule, we don't. Even though people used to write like this. This used to be the way of doing it. And also, sometimes the rule is to write how it's said. So here you would say the Joneses' yard sale. So you're saying that other S, Joneses, because it's just, if it's Sam Jones, you don't say Sam Jones's, right? But Sam Jones's lunch pail. This is acceptable, and this is acceptable. Just pick one and stick with it. Personally, I prefer this style. I just think it's less cluttered. And it's the same rule that you're using up here. So I just think, why not make it all the same? Yeah, but again, this is fine. You'll see this too. Yeah. Yeah, so there we have more than one fox. Foxes, the fox's den. And those would be, it's a possessive plural. Now, sometimes you'll have a word that's a plural, but it's not going to end in S. So, the women's clothing, the men's restroom, and you are going to add an S to that. So, all right, well, I think my time is up, but you get a better idea of things. If you have any questions, let me know. I think that apostrophes are one of the few punctuation marks that are kind of fun to discuss because there are some real simple rules to follow, and it's not really tricky like a comma. I mean, you could read books and books about comma placement and still not understand it, but I think apostrophes are pretty accessible to learn. So please let me know if you have any questions, and good luck with your quiz.